and one is called ghrelin. So the ghrelin gremlin is your hunger hormone. It's the one that's like in your stomach and it's like, feed me.
Yeah.
Right. I think
That's a good way to remember that.
I think everyone probably, if you have to study for it, makes that association. I certainly did right off the bat. So ghrelin is the ghrelin gremlin. It's your hunger hormone. And it says feed me more. And I think it's just developed and produced and released like by your stomach cells. And so obviously there's some implications if you eat a meal and ghrelin is still high, and they have found that with the overweight population in studies. So that's one of the reasons why they eat and they're still hungry. You might say, just control yourself. It's like it's still hormonal.
Yeah.
They're getting signals, from their bodies saying you still need more food, which is that's a big pillar to surmount. That's a tough one. And then on the opposite side, there's one called leptin, and leptin is your satiety hormone, meaning that it sends signals that says we're full. So the food has already leapt in to your body, and you're full. So that's ghrelin, the gremlin, and leptin, right? And so
these are like such like biology studying things.
Yeah,
like
cue cards.
Yeah, I remember it's coming up with all these different things to remember things.
Yeah.
So excellent.
Yeah. So these two they do in a sense work in tandem synergistically. They're produced by different portions of the body, and so it's not completely accurate, but you can think of it that way. That and so ghrelin isn't bad. You need hunger signals. In patients who are have anorexia, their ghrelin it's theorized is low. Right. And so you can always see a low and a high when it comes to these hormones and devastating effects on the mind and on the body. And so, so in like the anorexic population, you would want to try to raise it. You might be able to help influence it with zinc supplementation and things like that. But anyways, so that's the other two that are definitely worth mentioning, because it's your hunger signals, right? If you have eaten a meal, you want your leptin to take over because the food's already leapt in, and you want it to say, yeah, we're good. Thanks for the meal. And that's that. But we're talking about hormones and weight gain today. So I would imagine that, it seems to be more so high ghrelin instead of low leptin from what I was looking at.
Are they kind of like protagonist, antagonist as well, where kind of similar to like a bicep, tricep, where if one is high, if one is flexing, then the other one has to be relaxed?
I would assume that there is some sort of a balance that the body enacts for that.
The body does not typically shoot out both at the same time. It's like either your body's pumping out ghrelin or your body's pumping out leptin. No, it should be like that. Yeah. And the only reason I hesitate is because ghrelin is produced by stomach cells and leptin is produced by fat cells. So just kind of different places and stuff. But yes, you're right. They typically communicate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah, so this one is a little bit tougher to test for, and it can be done again, a little bit more specialized lab companies. I probably have to open an account with one I don't even have an account with, because there's so many other good ways to test for what's going on in the body. You can almost assume that if you're having issues with weight loss or you're obese or something like that, you can almost assume that ghrelin's high.
Yeah, or if you're constantly feeling hungry, like you're never feeling satisfied and satiated, right? Then it's a pretty good assumption. Yeah. On the other side of that too, if you're never hungry, you could probably assume that might be low, the leptin might be increased, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's just kind of an interesting thing to know.